My name is Josh Miller. I own Riverstone Kennels, and I've been training gun dogs for more than 16 years. I have field trialed, I've hunt tested, but at the end of the day, I'm a duck hunter. You might find that the duck in our Duck Dogs podcast is spelled uniquely. The UK stands for my British Labs. I love my British Labs. I love what they offer me, both as a part of my family and the high motor in the field. As you're going to find, I have some pretty special dogs. Follow along in our podcast series here as we talk about both in the field hunting and in the field training situations that will hopefully help you progress with your dog at home. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Duck Dogs. I am your host, Josh Miller, and I would like to first thank our sponsors. So thank you to Eukanuba. Eukanuba is the presenting sponsor of Duck Dogs, and Eukanuba is the food that I feed my personal dogs. It is what I feed all the dogs that come into the kennel for training. We see tremendous benefits of coat and energy level and recovery and teeth, and I mean just across the board there's so many things that it's amazing what a change of nutrition can do, from dogs that struggled on things in the past, getting on food like this. Of course, there's no one food fits all, but we've just had a tremendous amount of success with this food across the board. So check them out. The blend that we feed at the kennel is Premium Performance Sport 3020. But I would definitely look into, what fits your needs. They have a number of different blends and formulas. So go check them out, and thank you to Eukanuba. Also, thank you to Sitka Gear. Sitka is, premium clothing. We're going into, not only training season, but also turkey season. And if you're a turkey hunter out there, you have to go check out the new turkey line they just released. Not only do they have an awesome vest that I got to use and test all of last year, but they have clothing that you can actually repel and make it to where you're not getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. So ticks are not getting up under your pants and getting covered in ticks. It's amazing. This is why I love Sitka. I love Sitka because they truly make gear that you need. They look at a problem and then they go and solve it. So go check that out especially if you're a turkey hunter. If you're not, go check out all the other stuff they have, because I wear all of their gear all year round, not only hunting, but also everyday stuff. So go check that out as well. www.sitkagear.com. All right, you guys. Well, before we get rolling here, what I'd like to do is just kind of recap. So this last couple weeks has been an absolute blur for me. In a good way, a great kind of a blur, specifically because Retriever Roadmap finally launched. And when I say finally, this was years of my life that I put into this. This was years of, and it's not just shooting the content, but it's, getting, the program that we're going to, put it on, set up. It's finding the right people to be a part of the team from a digital side, from a content creation side, there's just so much that goes into this. And so to finally have it out there and finally have it live, it's something that I've really, kind of looked forward to as we've gotten closer and closer. And we moved the launch date to this multiple different times because I wanted it to be perfect. I didn't want it to come out and be like, hey, just get it out, then we'll fix it. I wanted it to be perfect. And here's what I underestimated. I greatly underestimated how many people not only would get on this thing right away. So for me, maybe I underestimated the need for this, but I underestimated the impact that it would have on people. The number of messages off social, off emails, text messages. It's incredible how many people have reached out saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is, I've already seen, the benefits of this in my dog. I now get what it was that you were talking about for everyone out there. Listen to this, for everyone out there that sent me messages saying, hey, can you tell me more about the 5-point drill? You guys have heard me talk about the 5-point drill. That has been a tremendous number of people have sent that specific question in to me off this podcast. Go to Retriever Roadmap. I lay out the 5-point drill in detail. I break it down. I run it. I mean, it's everything's there. But then everything past that is there. Everything before that is there. And I'm going to enjoy continuing to grow this, continuing to build it. We have some really cool things we're going to do on top of this to, kind of help that community, grow and continue to grow the content. But I've been blown away. Yeah, I've been blown away with the number of people that have reached out. The one thing that's really stuck out to me a lot when it comes to this particular program was the train the trainer side of it. So the first section that I have in there's a number of different courses that I have from foundation and puppy and intermediate and advanced and train retrieve. There's just so much there, right? And that's not all of them. I'm going to list a few, but the train the trainer course has been the one that I think more people have reached out to me, with the aha moments that they've gotten out of it. And that train the trainer portion, that was set up to train you. And why I believe that's so important is because I think, if you were to get a DVD or pick up a book or get a different program and you just start going, okay, so here's how I teach my dog to sit, right? Here's what I say when I want my dog to go and retrieve. Here's what I do when, even if you know the hows, to me, the train the trainer is the why. Like, you need to know why you should be expecting something at a certain level. You need to know why your expectations should be a certain way when you're going through things. You need to know why you keeping your emotions in check could, quite frankly, lead to the success of a session or the failure, if you want to look at the other side of it. You are driving the car. You are the coach. If you don't understand where you're going, you're never going to get your team or your player there. I don't care how talented they are. Most of my clients that I've ever had come through the kennel, they say the same thing, and they say it kind of jokingly, but I know that they're serious about it. My dog's amazing. I'm the one that holds this dog back. I'm the one that is making it so we don't achieve more. I'm the one that is dragging us down. And I think that's a really interesting thing. I think it's neat that people look at it that way, and they go, well, if I knew more, or if I had the knowledge of how to get there, But that's a lot of what that train the trainer part of it is all about. Let's train you. If you're not trained right, it doesn't matter what you do going forward. If you are not trained right yourself, and your expectations are wrong, or your emotions are all over the place, you're never going to achieve your goal. I don't care how good of a program it is. I don't care how good of a dog you have. You can make or break this thing. And so it's really interesting to me as I go through that. And the part that I wish, I wish more people could see or really dig into is the reading the dog aspect of it. And unfortunately, there's no, magic wand as far as like, bippity boppity boo, this is how you read a dog. This takes practice. This takes you actively watching and actively trying to understand what your dog is telling you or what the dog is communicating with you, with the body language, with how they're looking at you, with their posture, with, everything. Your dog is communicating with you all the time. Whether we open our eyes and read it and listen to it is a different story oftentimes. Let me give you an example. So, the last few days, I have been, I hesitate to call it a spring vacation because we quite frankly don't have time for a spring vacation because, it's training season is kicking off and Whitney has puppies on the ground and more litters coming. And so what we did is we decided, in our infinite wisdom, you know what, we'll just take the kids and we'll go to a water park, that is about an hour away for 2 days. The reason I say hesitate to call it a spring vacation is because there was no vacation about it. If you have ever gone on vacation with a 3 and a 1-year-old, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They were overstimulated. It was the first time that we had ever been anywhere as a family. So it was the first time away from home. So, the sleeping in a hotel. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm looking at these kids going like, what happened to you guys? Like here I thought I had, these very well-mannered, well-behaved kids. Now you're like all over the place and you're worked up and I'm glad to be back. But something really interesting happened while we were at this water park. So the hotel allowed dogs, to be at the hotel. And, I see dogs here and there, not a big deal, right? But we came out of the water park area back into the hotel area one day. And, there were these people that were like, you could just tell, right? It's like, oh, come here, come here, come here. And I look over and there's a dog that was visibly nervous and scared. And this dog is in the corner, shaking, body posture is way down, right? Like tail is way down between the legs, head is down, trying not to make eye contact. This dog is very scared. And I came into it, who knows how long, they were trying to talk with that dog. Who knows, the situation up to that point. I'm coming in at the very end of it. And so I was coming in, by the time I kind of realized what was going on, there was a girl there that was part of the staff. And she like lunged at the dog to grab the dog. And the dog naturally goes, like snap, 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 and not trying to bite her. She took it that way, of course. Not trying to bite her, just really defensive. And the first thing that the lady says, oh, you stupid dog. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I walk into her, I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, this dog just tried to bite me. I'm like, well, not from what I saw. I'm like, look at this dog right now. And full disclosure, before I keep going, I am not the guy that wants to be the dog expert. I would rather know that, I'd rather no one know that I know anything about dogs. I don't want to talk about dogs. I don't want to go be like, somebody's, side trainer, while I'm on, like, I just want to have vacation, but I found myself in this situation and naturally just kind of, gravitate to it. So like I told her, I said, look at this dog who's sitting right here in the hallway, nervous, shaking, very scared. And I'm like, what do you see here? Because I see a dog that is very nervous and is very unsure of what's going on. And she goes, well, it didn't have to try to bite me. I'm like, how did you approach this? How you have a dog here that is nervous and scared, and you lunged at this dog. And she goes, yeah, I was trying to grab him. I'm like, I know you were, but how does he know that? He just knows he is scared in a place he doesn't know, around people he doesn't know. All of a sudden, there's a crowd of people coming towards him, everyone trying to help, right? Nobody's actually helping, everybody's trying to help. And then one of the people lunges at them, or at him. I'm assuming it was a him, I really don't know. But I'm like, come on. How is this the dog's fault here? You can tell she didn't say anything back, right? So I just knelt down, like, hey, buddy, and I just, I'm talking to the crowd, not the dog, right? I'm not making eye contact. I'm not trying to get down in his face. I'm just, talking to the crowd saying like, hey, can we just back up a little bit and just give this dog a little bit of space? Can someone go to the front desk, see if someone that is, staying here lost a dog? And meanwhile, while I'm talking to these people, I feel on my right hip, the dog's coming up and just kind of leans into me. I kind of looked down, saw what was happening. I looked at the girl that was making these accusations. I'm like, does he look really aggressive and mean to you right now? My point, so to finish the story, just so everybody knows, about 5 minutes later, 2 young boys, probably 10 or so, come down the hallway and, they go, Chipper! And the dog pops right up, takes off, the 2 boys run off, and they run down the hallway happy as can be. So the reason I even bring this up is because it boggles my mind how poorly we are as humans at reading dogs. And I think the biggest reason being is that we verbalize everything. If you were to be really honest, we talk way too much. I'm probably a prime example, but we talk too much. The best thing you can do is just shut your mouth sometimes. Try to understand what's going on. With a dog does not vocalize often at all. If you watch how a dog communicates, it's all body language. It's how they use their eyes. It's how they lick their lips. It's how they, their head position, their tail position, their body posture. Everything has everything to do with the communication from a body language standpoint. But I think naturally we've just desensitized ourselves to that because we like to talk. That situation right there, I would be willing to bet almost every single person that is listening to this right now, because more than likely you're a dog person, more than likely you spend a lot of time with your dog, you would have seen the same situation that I did, as far as this is a dog that is nervous, that is scared, and you wouldn't have gone and lunged at that dog. You certainly wouldn't call the dog dumb or had any kind of accusations to the dog for doing what it did in the situation given, someone lunging at it. But that's the norm. Normally, people don't get it. When I look at training, and when I see people that are really, really successful with training, the common denominator to me is it is people that talk less. When I hear people over-communicate and talk, and want to have a conversation with their dog and want to give 10 commands for what they really want one action out of, those people are rarely successful, at least not at a high level, right? If you have high hopes and high goals and high aspirations, to me, the less you should be talking with your dog. Read the body language. Let the dog read your body language. Learn how to communicate the way that he or she does with your body. I'm not saying don't talk. I'm not saying when you mean sit, don't say sit. I'm not saying don't say come. What I'm saying is when you want the dog to come, don't say, Rosie, come here, girlie, come here. Rosie, come here. Oh, you little stinker, come over here. What are you doing over there? I'm saying, say, Rosie, come. It's incredible the difference. If you minimize your vocabulary, minimize how much you talk to the dog, learn how to read the dog, and then, in turn, learn how to use your body to communicate the way that that dog knows best, you will be more successful. But I think what comes full circle on that is that by doing that, you actively take and engage in reading the dog and the dog's body language. When you can do that, you will be more successful because now you'll be able to read, okay, I need to make the correction now, not 5 seconds from now. I can see where this is going, so I'm going to stop this situation now before it gets there. There's so many things that just understanding how to read the dog will give you as far as an advantage in your training, an advantage in your process. I think it's hugely beneficial. It is something that is severely underrated, but is overlooked. Learning how to read your dog. As you go into the spring season, here's my challenge to you today. As you go into the spring season, don't talk as much and learn. Just try to actively learn. And here's what's really neat. If you can get into a group setting and watch other dogs and other people run, I think not only will it help you read your dog better because you'll get to see how different dogs communicate. Everybody's going to be a little different, right? But sometimes when you take yourself out of that driver's seat and you step back from a distance, you get a different perspective and you can see things in a different manner. I'll do this once in a while with Dave, who Dave is my trainer at the kennel. Dave has worked and trained now with me for almost 10 years. I think it'll be 10 years this summer. So we're very in tune with each other, right? But once in a while, if I'm struggling with a dog or I've just hit a hurdle, I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall, I'll have Dave run the dog and I will stand back. Just give me a different perspective. Is there something going on I'm not seeing? And then from that different perspective, I can read now from a different spot. Sometimes that's a huge deal. But in a group setting, you can then watch, okay, here's why this person handles this way. Or this person would be better at handling if he did this. And then you can take that and apply it to your own dog. It's really neat stuff. Speaking of Dave just won the Elite Shed Dog National Championship with one of the dogs dog from our breedings that Dave has been training for this now for probably about the last month or two. And so we're really proud of Dave. One of the things that's interesting going into maybe kind of piggybacking off this a little bit. I might be stretching on that, but it's amazing to me, because Dave came back and he was excited, tells me all about every second of the event, and you can just tell that he was really proud of it, and we're proud of him. And he then kind of started talking about all the issues that came up, right? All the people want to yell at judges for the goofy things. All the people that were upset because stuff wasn't perfect. And it's like, oh my gosh. It boggles my mind. It really does. How can people go to a dog event and expect that things are perfect and expect that you're going to go be successful, or you're going to go win, or you're going to go pass this test? There's always something that's going to go on. We are so tight of a community. So for me, when I go to a hunt test and there's someone that is losing their mind at a judge because of a disagreement, my first thought that goes through my head is why? It's not going to change anything, right? And then two, what I find is that when I come up, it seems like the judges are a little more relaxed because they're like finally, like someone we know is not going to lose their mind. Like I have had many, many times that a judge has put my dog out because of something I totally disagree with. But I'm not going to lose my mind over it. Why fight? Why argue about it? We're too close knit of a group that if we continue to tear each other up from the inside, it just makes that much, much more, gives people that much more ammunition from the outside to be doing that. It's already hard to find places to do this and to, find clubs to host the events and find judges that want to volunteer their time to be there. I mean, there's so many things that go into these events. I think people take it for granted and go, I paid $50 to be here. Yeah. Yeah, well, it takes a lot more than that $50 to put this whole event on. I'm not discrediting or devaluing your $50 entry fee. I think that's great. But I think this goes back into me just thinking that people kind of get wrapped up in their own minds and their own kind of like selfishness. To me, where I'm tying this back into the dog breeding part of it is I feel the same way. I feel when people are frustrated and they're going to go, ease their frustration by taking the dog out training, no one wins in that. No one wins. Because you want to go blow off steam, the dog wants to go please you. The dog can already tell that you're not pleased. The dog's thinking, what did I do wrong? Which at this point is nothing. But he's going to tense up and do something wrong, which is going to upset you even more. Just doesn't win. Now, for some people it does. I shouldn't say that as a broad, general statement. Some people it works great. You got to know you. You have to know how to handle your emotions. I know that was a little bit of a soapbox there at the end. I don't know. It just irritates me. It just I don't get why people have to be that person. So you didn't get a ribbon. Big deal. Didn't mean you have to go ruin someone else's day over it. Didn't mean you had to go get in someone's face over it. I just don't get it. Well, that took a left-hand turn that I didn't expect there at the end. Anyway, I want to thank Lucky Duck. Lucky Duck, 5-star crash test rated kennel, both in the large and the intermediate. It is the best way for your dog to travel, so go check them out, www.luckyduck.com. Also, thank you to Gun Dog Supply. Gun Dog Supply is your one-stop shop for all of your hunting and training needs. And if you have not yet, if you have not gone out and checked out Retriever Roadmap, go do that. I really think that it would help anyone out there that's listening at home, and it is cheap. We intentionally made it cheap. For $29 a month, you can get this thing. It is going to continue to grow. The content is going to grow. Everything, there's a lot of benefits of it. It is a very low commitment. For $29 a month, I mean, I think I could have a dog. I think you could train your dog for a year and a half or more for what it would cost me to have the dog in for training for 1 week. I wanted to make this really easily accessible and cheap for people. Cheap, but I struggle with that. Again, I'm not trying to get off on another soapbox. I struggle with that side of it because I didn't want to come across as too cheap because there's a ton of valuable content in there. But I wanted to make it easily affordable for everybody, and I think that's what this is. So go check out Retriever Roadmap, www.retrieverroadmap.com, and let me know what you think. I would love to hear any more feedback on that. So hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk next week. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Leave us a review on iTunes, and a special thank you to DUK, because without them, we couldn't do what we do here, bringing this information to you.